Freeman Hrabowski tells his story of what led him to inspire to be a leader in education. And so I begin the story of my childhood. We are all products of our childhood experiences. It's hard for me to believe that it's been 50 years since I had the experience of being a ninth grader in Birmingham, Alabama. I was the kid who loved getting A's, the kid who loved math, the kid who loved to read, and the kid who would say to the teacher when the teacher said, "Here's 10 problems, class." I was a fat kid that would yell back to the teacher, "Give us 10 more problems." And everyone else would yell, "Shut up, Freeman." And there was a designated kicker every day. And so I was always asking this question, well, how could we get more kids to really want to learn? And amazingly, one week in church, when I didn't really want to be there and was in the back doing my math problem, I heard this man say this: if we can get the children to participate in this peaceful demonstration here in Birmingham, we can show America that even children know the difference between right and wrong, and that children really do want to get the best positive education. And I looked up and said, "Who is that man?" And they said his name was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And I said to my parents, "I want to go. I really want to be a part of this." And they said, "Absolutely not." And we had a rough go at it. And at that time, quite frankly, you really did not talk back to your parents. And somehow I said, you guys are hypocrites. You make us go to this. You make us listen. This man wants me to go. And now you say no. And they thought about it all night. And they came into my room the next morning. They had not slept. They had literally been crying and praying and thinking, will we let our 12-year-old participate in this march and probably have to go to jail? And they decided to do it. And when they came in to tell me, I was at first elated. And then all of a sudden, I began thinking about the dogs and the firehouses, and I really got scared. I really did. And one of the points I make to people all the time is that sometimes when people do things that are courageous, it doesn't really mean that they are courageous. It simply means it is important to do it. I wanted a better education. I did not want to have hand-me-down books. I wanted to know that the school I attended only had good teachers, with the resources we needed. And as a result of this experience, in the middle of the week, while I was in jail, Dr. King said with our parents, "What you children do this day will have an impact on children who have not been born." I recently realized that 2/3 of Americans today had not been born in 1963. And so for them, when they hear about the Children's Crusade in Birmingham, in many ways, as they see it on TV, it's history. And the real question is, what lessons did we learn? Well, amazingly, the most important for me was this: that children can be empowered to take ownership of their education. They can be taught to be passionate about what they're learning and to love the idea of asking questions. And so it is especially significant that the university I now lead, UMBC, was founded in the very year I went to jail with Dr. King in 1963. And what has made the institutional founding especially important is that Maryland is in the South. And as you know, and quite frankly, it is the first university in our state to be founded at a time when students of all races could go there. And so we had black and white students and others who began to attend. It has been 50 years of an experiment. The experiment is this: is it possible to have institutions in our country, universities, where people from all backgrounds can come and learn to work together, to learn to become leaders, to support each other in this experience? Now, what is especially important about the experience for me is this: we found that we could do a lot in the arts and humanities and social sciences, and so we began to do that for years in the 60s. And we produced a number of people in law, all the way to humanities. We produce great artists. Beckett is our muse. A lot of our students get into theater. They do great work. The problem that we face is the same problem that America continues to face: that students in the science and engineering, black students, were not succeeding. But when I looked at the data, what I found was that, quite frankly, students in general, large numbers, were not making it. And as a result of that, we decided to do something that would help. First of all, the group at the bottom, African Americans, and then Hispanic students. But, most important, if a student has a sense of self, it is amazing how the dreams and the values can make all the difference in the world.